All right, now I've got Linq replaced for um, hex coordinate lookups, which is huge for performance as far as uh, visual performance, click to performance logic. With much faster response now. I have a spatial indexer that caches my hex point centers and hex points for each corner. So that way I can get immediate feedback on mouse hover logic, where my mouse point is in world space. Uh, so when I'm scrolling from hex to hex with the left held down, it's painting um, continuously as I'm dragging across the map, which is beautiful. This is exactly what I want and what this sort of game needs. And in addition to um, improving this painting function, it's also going to improve the foundation for geometric space coordinates, um, resolving for like pathfinding, stuff like that, into the actual gameplay logic. The AI and the human player will also use playing the game. So it's a little bit heavier on runtime, but the cost is now paid, and it's not going to increase. My runtime is not going to increase further by adding additional subsystems now, because I'm not adding additional Linq lookups for every new subsystem. I'm now referencing the single source of truth in regard to my geometry, which is stored in the cache now, the hex points and hex centers. So that is stable and reusable for all of my coordinate mapping subsystems, and I'm still in a healthy range as far as my runtime. As you can see, I'm not getting any screen jitter or lag. The response is great. The memory footprint at runtime is stable, and I've still got plenty of room to expand that with the addition of my remaining subsystems, which should not have the effect of increasing my runtime footprint at this point now, because all of my coordinate definitions and mapping and lookup logic is now completely done for everything. So I'm just adding subsystems now that reference the same lookup detail for every additional feature and function. So I'm right on track with where I projected my desirable runtime memory footprint to be, which is around, I wanted to stabilize it around, I figure like Supreme Ruler, I would usually get like 1500 megabytes of runtime footprint at runtime, which is acceptable for a grand strategy game like this. From what AI has told me, the runtime footprint on grand strategy titles like some paradox titles or whatever could go as high as 2.5 gigabytes per for a runtime footprint at runtime while the game's being played. So my projected or desired runtime memory footprint is still well below the 1500 mark that I feel comfortable with, and the systems I'm adding and optimizing for both performance and for runtime efficiency in different ways throughout is still keeping me in line to that. final result. So I'm very happy with the investment, the cost of runtime memory allocation for this huge quality optimization and grid selection and lookup for coordinates. So this is well worth the couple hundred megabytes of runtime that it added. And I can actually drop that if I want to make the regions that are cached smaller for lookups, or I can make them larger rather, which would make precision identification for coordinates less runtime intensive but less precise. I could increase the radius of or the diameter of the of each cached index. Right now I have a small precise lookup cache that stores approximately 3 hex centers per per lookup. I could increase that to like 256 F, and that would increase that to like probably like 10 or 20 hex centers per lookup. But it would also in turn make response slower, because it would have to it wouldn't really be noticeable by much, because this is a pretty fast computer, and most computers of the present day are pretty fast, so you wouldn't really notice much of a difference in response, but it would have to iterate through 10 to 20 hexes versus 2 to 3 per lookup, which would slow the response, but it would also lessen the overall volume of containers that would be indexed in lookup logic and hex. Well, actually, it's they're containerized for geometry, and the lookup is based on the size of the container for each index entry. So making that bounding area larger would include more hexes. It would be less memory at runtime allocated, but it would also reduce precision and response per click. So right now I'm in the healthy range still with my memory runtime footprint, and I have no issues with where it's at. So I'm going to continue to develop and keep an eye on that, and as long as I add additional subsystems, as long as that increases that expected rates, then I'm not going to change this layout, because the precision will be for picking will be excellent, and that will in turn affect every subsystem that calls it, including AI pathing and anything else that uses point selection from the grid during runtime as the game is being played, and geometry is referenced. So, excellent update to the engine. Greatly improves the quality of this game engine just in that, and that was a complete lookup subsystem, hex point lookup subsystem, completely overhauled today. I removed Linq So I'm happy, and that was an update that had the intended effect which was geared towards this more fluid point selection, it went smooth, far smoother, and required less implementation outside of the actual grid layer associations and files that needed to be updated to remove Linq and adopt this lookup system. It went much smoother and required far less alteration of my other engine code subsystems that already had this logic implemented, and now the math and the storage and the way that it's processed being altered means that I have to adapt none of my subsystems. As a result, they just absorb the same namespace and the same functions, and the function itself is the only thing that was altered. So that went beautifully, and I'm grateful for that, and that brings this engine a whole lot closer to professional quality standard and its output in functions. Check. So you see that when you press it, you can press Control S. Hey, Pro. Check.